Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I am so excited. I am your host, Queen Tulsa, and we are here. We're here, we're live, and we are broadcasting, and we're giving you the late night topics. Today is Monday, June the 30th, 2025. The current time is 1:02 a.m. Yes. All right. So the first piece of hot topics that you to know about. This is just in, ladies and gentlemen, 2 days ago. Thanks to you and all those who truly care, Wells Fargo tried to hide it, but you found it and told us through our new hotline. No one reported on it, but the truth always comes to light. We hope at Morgan Stanley avoids a scandal. Can we go ahead and take a listen? Let's go.
Just in. Thanks to netizens and Wendy Watchers, we have an update, and this one is big. They thought they could hide it from you, but once again, the people emerge victorious. We have official documentation that shows that Wells Fargo allowed Lori Schiller to resign voluntarily amidst allegations. Now, I don't know about you, but where I come from, that means fired. Oddly enough, this all happened quietly around the same time the complaint against her was revealed publicly. But wait, it gets better. Now it seems Laura Schiller has been able to gain employment with Morgan Stanley. Wait, is she now using Morgan Stanley as a vessel to find more victims? Does Morgan Stanley even know about her quote-unquote voluntary resignation? I think they should know. Don't you? This just in. Thanks to
Absolutely. And so on today, we're going to be making some phone calls. Absolutely. Today, we are going to be making some phone calls, and I will be putting some information up on the community wall. So you all make sure you check out the community wall um, as I gather more information. So I definitely want to, actually, I'm going to share this in the chat for all of you that are interested and that want to help. We're going to drop that link right on in the chat so you can go on over there, watch it on your own. That is on Instagram. Give me one moment. So, we do have more news. So, our next news is going to be Section 8 shut down in Miami-Dade, over 77 million whole, thousands left waiting. How do y'all feel about that? And this is just in Miami-Dade. This is world news. Okay. So this is in Miami-Dade. Let's go ahead and take a look at it together. Shout out to Baller Alert. Section 8 shut down in Miami-Dade, over 77 million whole, thousands left waiting. Blog by Polygirl says what? If you're in Miami-Dade waiting on a Section 8 voucher, you might want to get comfortable. Your wait just got longer. The federal government has ordered the county to stop issuing most new Section 8 rental vouchers after uncovering a major budget shortfall. Here's what went down. In February, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, told Miami-Dade to freeze its Section 8 program after it was found to be $77 million short on funding. The county typically serves around 20,000 low-income renters with help from a $330 million budget. But rising rents and flat federal funding created a perfect storm. As a result, nearly 5,000 people stuck on the wait list haven't moved an inch in months. And the freeze could last well into 2025. It's the freeze of its kind in 8 years for Miami-Dade. And it's affecting around 75 households per month who normally would have received new vouchers through natural program turnover. Officials say the shortage was worsened when HUD denied Miami-Dade an inflation boost for next year, arguing rents had leveled off. But county leaders say the data doesn't match reality, especially for low-income housing. Rents may be Rents may not be climbing as fast, but they're still climbing, said Clarence Brown, Deputy Director of the Housing and Community Development Department. For now, only people already in Section 8 program will continue getting help. New applicants, even if qualified, are locked out until funding returns. Vouchers tied directly to housing units are still active, but tenant-based vouchers those that follow the renter are frozen. Okay. So it says the county has managed to chip away at the deficit, cutting it from $77 million to $45 million through cost saving measures. But that still leaves a big gap. And, to read more, you can go and look at Baller Alert to catch more. I want to say that this is definitely going to affect a lot of families that depend on the Section 8 program. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. So we definitely want to keep those families lifted up in prayer, and they need to get out there and, I don't know, just look for resources, see what churches are willing to help, I mean, because there's some churches and organizations that'll help with their with their rent or something, if their landlord is willing to, work with them. Like, okay, someone says, I'm gonna say at least 40% of people have been on the voucher for 4+ years, and mom and granny too. They need to boot off people who've had the voucher over 5 years and don't have a disability. Everybody should have a fair chance in time. Okay. So what she's saying is, some people, they pass it down. A girl, get your Section 8. Girl, get on out there. Someone says, I will never understand how some of them on housing assistance and public assistance voted for him. Some of them bragged about the Trump check. Remember, I said some. Clock it. I utilized Section 8 to purchase my home through the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. It's definitely doable as long as people understand that it's assistance. Pell Grants, housing, Medicaid, child care assistance, all that can change your life for the better in as little as 5 years, as long as you're doing the work. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree. The Section 8 program is just to give you a hands up. And then, like this individual said, they offer like transitional housing. So, like, you can transition into owning to home ownership. So, they have those programs. It's just people have to do the work. You have to do the work. Could it have happened to a better state? Oh well, Florida, y'all wanted him in office. Reagan era ain't gonna have nothing on the Trump era. Well, Miami-Dade County is giving $46 million in sports welfare to FIFA. Someone explained this to me like a kindergartner. Pretty much, some people that were interested in the program, they have frozen the funds. What they're saying is they have taken measures to cut the budget until they get more donations and more money. Then they will open up the portal and take more applicants, and they can go ahead and the ones that were they got approved, they can go ahead and push them through. Then they can work on the next batch. Someone says, I mean, the people on Section 8, not only the ones going to hurt, the owners of the apartments and homes will too. Empty homes and apartments don't make no money. Well, guess what? If they smart enough, shoot, they'll run some specials. Do a 3-month special. You know? People in third world countries and majority of the world didn't have this support. American been doing this for decades. People are spoiled and always looking for handouts and believe the government owes them something. Get up and work and create it for yourself. No one in no country or government owes you nothing. Well, he said it. Okay. All right, let's get into the next article. What's going on here? Lawsuit alleges Mount Vernon Mayor Sean Peterson Howard tipped off political ally about child molestation arrest.
Dwayne Murray, a prominent basketball coach in Mount Vernon, now in jail, accused of at least 2 incidents of sexual misconduct with a child less than 13 years old. Detectives searched Murray's electronic devices.
The defendant had exchanged text messages with the victim in which he discussed performing oral sex on the victim.
The Westchester DA says the incidents happened between October 2023 and March of last year. She further says during an interview, Murray admitted to participating in the crime, a claim Murray denies posting on Facebook.
These allegations are absolutely, completely false. If the Westchester DA's office has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
In that post, Murray claims it's a smear campaign and says someone made the allegation in a text message to the Mount Vernon mayor, which was then sent to the DA. In a statement, the mayor says, quote, while the context of the text message was vague, nameless, suspicious, and appeared politically motivated, Dwayne Murray, a prominent basketball coach in Mount Vernon, now.
All right, y'all, let's get up into these comments. So Hollywood Unlock,
Dwayne,
they posted this. It says Mount Vernon Mayor Sean Peterson Howard is accused of warning a close political ally of Dwayne Murray about his upcoming arrest for molesting 12-year-old girl weeks before he was taken into custody. A new lawsuit claims 12. Are y'all good? I beg your finest pardon. Smear campaign. Sir, please, you being weird with a little girl, and I'm pretty sure she's not the first victim. Under the jail he needs to be. I knew there was something about this woman I didn't like. I thought that was Nene Leakes in the background. I attend this high school, and I can't believe what I'm seeing now. Who can we trust with our children with when they're in school? They ran a tight ship back then. What is going on? Nah, lock her up too. Nah, not MV on Hollywood Unlocked. Big or small, Jason ain't gonna let it slide. There's almost always a pick-me behind these predators. Child, well, the people are upset. Prayers up to the family. And may justice be served. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull on to the next one. We
do have a Fox.
Oh my goodness. So this was actually on my radar, and I was going to cover this, and I'm glad that this story had come up. Like my
We do have a Fox.
Thank y'all so much for bearing with me for these hot topics. And then we're going to get into some more stories. But I wanted to come over to Instagram, and they had a great lineup for us today. So it says 2 dead in Idaho after firefighters ambushed by gunfire while responding to blaze. Neighbors, check out this wild story. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for reporting. A wildfire emergency in North Idaho took a deadly turn on Sunday afternoon when at least one sniper opened fire on the first responders, killing 2 firefighters. Oh no, and injuring the third. According to authorities, the ambush occurred around 2 p.m. as firefighters were tackling a fire on Canfield Mountain in Coatesville County. About an hour and a half later, they started getting shot at an unknown person or persons. Oh my goodness. They used the high-powered sporting rifles and positioned themselves strategically to take the shots. They all well prepared and blended in with their surroundings, Sheriff Bob Norris said. Additionally, Sheriff Norris warned that the standoff could potentially turn into a multi-day operation if the suspects are captured soon. He has also ordered people to shelter in place and urged civilians to avoid the scene until the threat is contained. Oh my God. Oh no. Let's take a moment for the firefighters that lost their life, Lord. All right, let's go ahead and play it.
News alert now. There is an active shooter situation developing in Idaho. As you look at your screen right now, multiple firefighters have been ambushed and shot while responding to a brush fire in the city of Coeur d'Alene. Reports say multiple people have been injured. Police are asking people to avoid this area, and a press conference is scheduled for later this hour. We will bring you any new updates. Anytime. We do have a Fox News alert now. There is an active shooter situation developing.
All right, so let's go ahead and read the report. It says, while responding to a fire earlier today, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, IAFF members were ambushed in a heinous act of violence. 2 of our brothers were killed by a sniper, and a third brother remains in surgery. Please keep them, their families, and law enforcement in your prayers. See, I told y'all. See, it ain't even. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Woo! You know what? I can't. Y'all, I can't. What happened here was sad, but in the comments, let's not act like firefighters have some clean, heroic history where they always save people and do the right thing. There is a long, troubling history of them intentionally leaving people behind in fires and refusing to help, especially when it came to the lives of non-white people. Many Black children, Black people, and other minorities lost their lives because of these actions, and it still happens to this day. Oh, baby. I need to get up out of that.
There you see the...
Okay, y'all, here's one. Trump set to cut ribbon on Florida's alligator Alcatraz, a 5,000-bed migrant camp built in just 7 days by DeSantis amid lawsuits citing environmental fears and outrage. Y'all, so this man going, so the president
there
is
you see the shower and bath facilities.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Where do you go to get a bunch of bathrooms like that?
Well, so this is being done by the Division of Emergency Management. So when we have a hurricane, like we would actually have people stage here for hurricane response normally,
right.
Anyways, but we have it when we have all the linemen come in to do the power.
Sure.
We have to set up little areas for them, and so you have all this type of stuff. So this is not our first rodeo. The detainee illegal alien mission's a little bit different, and the deportations. But logistics, we know how to do that.
Right. And, for people thinking, okay, they're going to put the migrants on this hot asphalt, it looks like you're building a subfloor. And in fact, some guys are putting down the plywood.
Yeah, no, look, this will be, there's not going to be anything that they're hurting for anything. There'll be AC, there'll be things that everybody needs. There's medical here. So it's being done right. It's being done by the book.
Well, when you think of the imagery of Alcatraz is surrounded by a bay. Here in the Everglades, you're actually surrounded by gators and pythons.
So this is as secure as it gets. If a criminal alien were to escape from here somehow, and I don't think they will, you've got nowhere to go. I mean,
No.
what are you going to do? Trudge through the swamp and dodge alligators on the way back to 50, 60 miles just to get to civilization? Not going to happen. So not only that is it secure, it also takes this deportation mission out of the hair of our local and state law enforcement. This has no impact on Florida residents because
Right.
some of that stuff can have an impact on them if it's in more populated areas. And so logistically, this really answers the call. All you need is a little bus to move them,
Right.
about 2,000 feet that way, then get on a plane and they're
Right.
gone.
Well, listen, the DHS must love this because they're hurting for facilities, and here you are helping the federal government out.
Yeah, well, I said at the very beginning when President Trump took office, you have to have state and locals on board. You got to be on the team if you want to get the deportation mission done. We're done that better than anybody, but I hope other states will follow suit. There you see the
All right, so I want y'all to sound off in the comments. Listen here, we're going to read this article. Shout out to our friends over at It's On Site. President Trump is expected to headline the grand opening of Florida's new migrant facility, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. This week, the massive detention center was thrown up in just 7 days on a remote Miami-Dade airstrip seized under government Ron DeSantis emergency powers. Designed to hold up to 5,000 migrants, the site banks on the surrounding swamps full of gators and pythons. As a natural barrier, but critics are calling it cruel and dangerous, and environmental groups have already filed lawsuits warning the Everglades ecosystem could suffer irreversible harm. Meanwhile, DeSantis touts it as a tough on illegal immigration win, and Trump plans to use a backdrop to double down on border messaging heading into 2026. These will be it says this will be modern day concentration camps, mark my words. You can build a $5,000 bed camp in 7 days, but can't help the homeless and less fortunate. I'm scamming for the rest of my life. There's no incentive to do the right thing. Oh, girl, you gonna find yourself, girl, mess around and find yourself over there in one of them camps. Man, these slave masters' grandchildren, child. Why is a ribbon cutting ceremony needed for this? They fed black babies to alligators. Why are people surprised by the beast? If they're supposed to be deported, why are they being put in prisons? This level of evil will haunt your family for centuries. They're going to start throwing humans out there, intentionally shaking my head. This should be illegal. Wow, what the F? Why hasn't anyone stopped Trump? This is crazy. Never seen anything like this administration where everyone is scared to step up and speak out. Just wow. Them continuing their tradition from their grandparents runs in their veins. You're not deporting them if they're housed in a concentration camp. You're kidnapping them and making them prisoners for free labor in the same country that they were illegal in. Somebody said we voted for this. Somebody said we voted for this. I wish they would stop saying we. Stop saying we when y'all You're not doing that. Someone says this reminds me of the all-boys school my father was supposed to attend in Florida, where they found over 500 skeletons buried behind that school, and it was surrounded by swamps. And it says all they do is commit the same crimes, put a different name on it. Someone says, I hate Ron DeSantis. That's his brothers and sisters. I can't wait for elections to start. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So in 14 years, married to a man, then she came out and reconnected with her long-lost love. They look like sisters. Let's read this. She spent 14 years married to a man. Then she came out and reconnected with her long lost love. After over 14 years in a heterosexual relationship, Amanda Smith decided to live her truth. Smith came out and reconnected with her long lost love, Jessica Gelting, telling people she never knew love could feel like this. I have to read the headline again because I thought they were twins. Yes, that's what I did with my now wife, Captain Sandy. Not going to lie, I thought they were something at first. Listen, I'm not about to lie, y'all. I thought that I was tripping. I'm like, hold on, let me read the article. Let me, baby. I said, let me read the article. Ooh. Flirt alert, Jalen Green is all smiles with his boo, Drea Michelle, while getting ready for a bike ride. We're not about to do that. We're not doing that. Yin Yang twins perform as...
My name is Harold Perrineau. My name is Brian.
Why would I have a beef with you?
Is it the ring?
What ring do you have?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Y'all listen here. This right here. Listen, I'm so excited for the reunion. Are y'all watching the reunion? The reunion is July the 13th. Listen here. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to report on this reunion. It's actually going to be a 3-part reunion. I'm so excited to report on it. Let's get into it. And there is so much shade, but shout out to the Bravo Shade Room. Angela confronted Phaedra and revealed Phaedra gave her the information about Marcus. Phaedra says Angela's house is in foreclosure. So hold on, Angela confronted Phaedra, and Phaedra revealed. Okay, and revealed Phaedra gave her the information about Marcus. So if she gave you the information about Marcus, how? All right, come on, let's go. Let's take a listen.
Why would I have a beef with you?
Is it the ring?
What ring do you have that I want?
A marriage, right?
What
A
marriage do I
marriage?
want?
You want one, Phaedra? Because
Girl,
you tried
bye.
to come in between mine?
Girl.
Oh, the ladies are in black, honey. They are giving it up. And, don't mess with my man, because I'm going to be the one to bring it to you, I mean, we're going to have a conversation. Let's see if they have a conversation.
You
Girl,
did. You're
deflecting. Because if
I'm not deflecting.
I like
this is
her.
your character.
You don't even know me.
I know the moves you play. And
Okay. So, like I said, I feel like she kind of looked like Janet Jackson in the face right here. But let me just say this. When you talk about Angela, I feel like Angela, she said she was a fan of the show. So she's watched for years, right? She's did her homework. She's done her research. And I've been telling y'all the whole season that this lady has been doing her research. Let's get into it.
the level that you're playing at is kind of low right now because I trusted you and I liked you. But when
I liked you too.
But no, you want to.
You're accusing me of something with no proof.
In The Godfather, baby, it says, "Be wary of the person who brings you the information." Phaedra,
Okay, now let's get into it. Let's get into it. Are y'all ready for this reunion? And you know what? I'm disappointed because Britt did not show up. You can down. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Britt did not come.
You gave me everything.
What you mean?
You gave me everything.
How did you receive Parkinson's full name and work information?
Phaedra called me. She said, "Hey, the guy who approached you, I remember him." She said she has the memory of an elephant. And his name was Marcus such and such. And she said he works at...
Oh, well, you have to be honest. When Marcus was telling the tea, Marcus said that he was a restaurant owner. So, put two and two together. Atlanta is big, but Atlanta is small for the upper echelon. With the who's who, people know each other. So I don't see how it would be a hard job to find out who Marcus was if he had that restaurant, like he said.
Such and such. Yeah, she gave me the information.
And they introduced themselves. Why would I have a themselves in front of us? I don't know the man from Adam's House Cat. It wasn't my event. The real person is the person who made the guest list and allowed him in.
So the real person is the person that made the guest list. So, was it Kelly? Oh my goodness. So was it Kelly? But see, this is the thing. When you have like an open event like that, I don't think that the ladies should be responsible for that. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it because I want to be able to watch it like full on. So let's move right on past that. Someone says, this was so far-fetched, unpopular opinion. I most definitely don't think Phaedra did this, and I don't agree with a lot she has done, LOL. But this seemed like some Tubi movie BS. Junebug, I was out. At first, I thought it was PP because of all the shade she was throwing during the confessionals, but after watching the episode, this seems far-fetched and fabricated. Bringing up her kids when we all know that man sees his dad, girl, you married to a man that hates you, and visibly showed the world on national TV. I'm still trying to figure out what would Phaedra's motive be. Didn't the guy say someone gave him an envelope? Well, if Phaedra had given it, he'd have said so. So how are they connecting someone to Phaedra? I think Phaedra's history is what people are leaning on. But I don't know if this is that. But you know what? It's so easy to throw Phaedra under the bus because of those allegations of what she said about Kandi. So now that she's back on the show, now you want a piece. Now you got to work for your peach. I think that was the message. Now you got to work for your peach. Hey, Norris, Tony, how you doing? Good to see you. Yes. So listen here, you all. I have to charge up my laptop, but those were some
A marriage, right?
I did want to
marriage.
Okay. I did want to share those hot topics with you all, and hopefully you all are loving the live broadcast as we are bringing this month to a close, and we are going into the 7th month, my B-Day month. Okay, yes. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm really excited. So let me charge up my laptop, and then I'll come back with another broadcast. Thank you all for dropping by. Off to Queen City. So long.